Welcome to Brightside Dental Care. This is Hope speaking. When would you like to schedule your visit?
I would like to book an appointment for October 28th at 12 p.m.
Let me check if October 28th at 12 p.m. is available for you. I see there's already an appointment scheduled from 12 p.m, so that time slot is not available.
Can you actually book it in for 1 p.m. on October 28th?
Perfect. Let me book that appointment for you right now. Your appointment has been successfully booked. You'll receive an email confirmation shortly. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, that's perfect, thank you. Hi, I'm Bogdan, and that was my AI receptionist. It handles appointments 24/7 for $60 a month instead of paying an actual receptionist $40,000 a year. And in this video, I'll show you how to build one using Voiceflow and Google Calendar. So, let's get started. This agent can book new appointments and also reschedule or cancel existing appointments. Once that's done, it automatically notifies both the client and us so everybody gets the updated details. Now, this AI receptionist can be used in all kinds of businesses, from salons and fitness studios to clinics, law firms, and even auto repair shops. Basically anywhere clients need to book appointments. But for this scenario, we'll go with a fictional dental clinic called Brightside Dental Care. To get started, we need to go to voiceflow.com, and here we can either sign in or sign up for free. I'm going to go ahead and click sign in because I have an account, and I'm going to log in with one of my Gmail accounts. And here we want to start a project from scratch, so we're going to click on projects, and then we're going to click new project. We're going to name the project. In this scenario, I'm just going to call it appointment booking agent, and then we can just click start from scratch. When we start the project from scratch, by default it's going to give us this customer support agent here, but we're not going to need this for this scenario, so I'm going to go ahead and just remove this. And I just want to explain to you that when we use AI models, by default these models don't have access to the current time, so it's up to us to add a tool at the beginning of our workflow so that every time that the agent is activated, this will be given the current time. And to get the time, what we need to do here is we're going to go to start and then drag from this little circle here, and the arrow appears, which will give us a few different options here. We're going to go to dev, and then here we want to click API. Here what we're going to do is basically just hit a tool over the internet that will give us the current time for our time zone. And we'll do that by literally using this URL here, which is basically just the API date and time proxy for Voiceflow. And then in my scenario, I have Europe, and then I have Dublin. In your scenario, for example, it could be America and New York. So let me just quickly show you how it works. Once I'm happy with the URL, I can click out of it, and then I can hit send, and this will basically show me what the URL gets for us. Okay, so we can see here, this gets the formatted date and time for us, and then we have here the last one, which is the full version of the date and time, and this is the one we're actually going to use. For this, we're not going to need any headers or parameters, but we are going to capture the response. To capture the response here, we need to create our response object. So my response object will be something like response dot formatted dot full, and that is because this is the response that we need, dot formatted that we have here, dot full, which is this field that we need here with the full date and time. Now we need to save this response to a variable. So basically the value that you can see here right now, it will be stored to a variable so the AI agent knows the current time. And to do that, there's two ways we can create a variable. So let me just zoom out so you can actually see it, because you can't really see the create button. So we can either click create variable here and create a new variable, or we can just go here to the left hand side, click on content. This will bring us to the content of the agent that we work on, and here we have variables. And here we can click new variable, and then we can just create a name for our variable. So in this scenario, we're just going to call it formatted date time. Once you're happy with that, we can click create variable here, and now we want to go back to our workflow. Here we're going to click again on the API block, and we're going to click on our capture response here, and we can see the exclamation mark saying this variable is missing, so we want to add our variable now. So here we can start searching for formatted, and then it pops up formatted date time, and that's it for getting the current time. Now what I'm going to actually do here is I'm just going to rename this to API block just to stand out a bit. I know this might seem complex, but next time we need to get the current time for a different project, we can just go ahead and copy and paste this one to the new project. Now we need to add our appointment manager agent to the canvas. So to do that, we can add the agent to the canvas by either dragging the agent here to the canvas and then linking the API block to our agent, or we can always just drag from the circle here, and that will give us a different option we can use. And in this one, I'm just going to go ahead and click agent, and now let's go ahead and click new agent. Here we need to configure our agent step. However, if you're not familiar with the different things that need to be configured within the agent step, you should first watch my previous video titled I build a customer support agent that creates tickets for you, and you should have the link here at the top. And in that video, I break down exactly how to configure each section of the agent step. Anyway, looking at our agent step here, first of all, I want to go ahead and rename this to appointment manager. Next, let's go ahead and add our prompt here. I've already come up with a prompt that I need for this agent that covers everything that we need to do within this agent to book our appointments. So let me add the prompt here, and then I'm going to walk you through the prompt step by step. First thing we have in our prompt here is the role. So in our scenario here, the agent is called Hope. It's an appointment scheduling assistant for Brightside Dental Care Dental Clinic. It should start with "Welcome to Brightside Dental Care. This is Hope speaking. How can I assist you?" Next, it's the agent's persona. We want it to be friendly, conversational, and casual. We're also saying in the prompt here that the answer should be formatted to be voice first, and that is because we are aiming to use this as an agent that we call and talk to, which I'm going to demo later on in the video. And because of that, we don't want to use any lists, just natural language sentences. So next we have knowledge, and for the first part is for internal use, the current date and time is, and then the variable should give the agent the date and time. So let me just remove this first, and to add the variable that we already created, what we need to do here is start with the curly brackets and then start typing in formatted, and it will find the date and time for us. Now basically it says knowledge for the internal use, the current date and time is wherever the value is stored in our variable, formatted date time. I've also added if the user has general questions, use the knowledge base tool to access the dental clinic knowledge base information and answer questions. I might actually go ahead and add the knowledge base later on to my agent. Next part is how to parse the voice input. So if the user is communicating through voice, it might be difficult to parse their email address. Here is how to handle that. Here we're given an explanation to break down the format of an email address. We give an example x@y.z, where x is usually the name. We tell that people usually pronounce the @ symbol as @ y is the service provider. They will pronounce the period as dot, and also the z is something like com. And then I'm even giving it an example just to clarify even further, right? And I'm saying if the username is Bogdan, they'll probably give you an email address that is something like bogdan.test1993@gmail.com. Then we have our tasks, and here what we want to do is outline exactly what to do depending on the user's request. Now, let me quickly explain what happens here. So if the user wants to book an appointment, we need to give the agent the internal knowledge that tells the agent the appointment should be 30 minutes long. You can use 15 minutes appointments, an hour, and so on, but for this scenario, we're just going to use 30 minutes long. Then we want to ask the user when they want to schedule the appointment because we want to get the date and time from the user. Now, we also specify to our agent that we only work from 9 till 5, Monday to Friday, which means that the appointment that the user is trying to book is between those times and those specific days. If the user gave us a date and time that is between Monday and Friday, and it is between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., then what we need to tell our agent is use the MCP Server tool, Google Calendar, find events to go ahead, check our calendar, make sure there are no other events for that specific date and time, so we don't conflict with other appointments. If there are other appointments for that specific day and time, then we want the agent to come back to the user and give them different options or ask the user to select a different date and time. If the date and time that the user picked is free, then we want the agent to trigger the next tool, which is Google Calendar Quick Add Event, and this will add the event to our calendar. Now we specify that this tool should pass the date, time, and description. Now the description should include the name of the user as the describe event field, and should pass the user email address to the attendees field. Last thing here is, now if successful, then we want to inform the user that the appointment has been booked, confirm the date and time, and let them know they will get an email confirmation. Now, in order to trigger these different tools that we mentioned here, such as Google Calendar Find Events and Google Calendar Quick Add Event, we need to connect to an MCP server. So we're going to go ahead here, click MCP, create MCP tool, and now we need to give it a server name. So in this one, I'm just going to call it appointment booking. Might not be the best convention because we already called the agent appointment booking, but it doesn't really matter for now. What's important here is the server URL. Now, this is not a video on what MCP servers are or how they work. All you need to know for now is that to use an MCP tool, the server has to be accessible by URL somewhere on the internet. We'll look at the easiest way to get started with the MCP server, which is to use Zappier, as this is straightforward and is free to use, but there are many other options. But for now, Zappier is more than enough because it allows to use over 8,000 tools, and as I already mentioned, is free. I'm going to put the link on the screen to access Zappier MCP, and I'm also going to add it in the description below. So anyway, let's go ahead to zapier.com/MCP. And here, again, we can log in or sign up. Let's just go ahead, log in with Google. Once we're logged into Zappier MCP, here we can go ahead, click New MCP Server. We need to select the client, and for this scenario, we're just going to go ahead and select Other. I'm just going to leave a name to MCP Server for now. Create MCP Server. Our MCP Server is created. Here, we can click Add Tool. So we need to add a tool for Google Calendar. So I can just click on Google Calendar, and then I have these different options. The first tool that I need here is Find Events. So I'm going to go ahead, click on Find Events. Once the tool is added here, we can click on the drop down for the Google Calendar, and then we can click the three little dots beside Find Events. And here we can click Configure. and we just need to configure our find events for the Google Calendar. So the Google Calendar account is Bogdan.test1993, and then what calendar is it? So for this one, I'm going to select a specific value, and this is the specific one. And then for the rest of them, we're just going to have the same options here. Have AI generate a value for this field. We're going to click save, and this is our first tool configure, and we can see the calendar is for this email address. Next, we need to go to connect your MCP client, because that's where we get our URL. We need to click connect, and here we need to go ahead and copy the server URL. We copy the server URL, we go back to our agent, and here we can enter the server URL, add MCP server. The MCP server is connected, and we can see the different tools available for us. One of the tools being Google Calendar Find Events, which is a tool we actually added. Let's click on Google Calendar Find Events. Here you can even see the description is ready for us, says finds events in our calendar, returns up to 25 matching events. So that's everything we need to do here, and we can just click out of it. And that's it, we added our first tool here. Now that we have added our Google Calendar Find Events tool, we have to add the Google Calendar Quick Add Event tool as well. And to do that, we're going to go back to Zappier MCP here, and where we have Google Calendar, we can go ahead and add a new tool. And one more time, we're going to click Google Calendar, and here we're just going to type in quick and then select the Quick Add Event. Once we do that, one more time here, we're going to click the three dots, configure, and here we can see the Google Calendar account, calendar. I can be specific and just select my own calendar here if I want to, and the rest of it are just let AI deal with it. So I'm going to click save, and now our second tool is being added to our MCP server. The MCP server is already connected to our agent, so now the only thing I need to do here is click tool, MCP, select the one that's already there, appointment booking. I'm trying to look for the quick add event, and as you can see, it's not here in the list because we need to click refresh to sync the server. So once we click refresh, we can see now that the tool is here. So Google Calendar quick add event, we click on that, it automatically has a default description there, which is create an event for a piece of text. Google parses the text for date, time, and description info. We can go ahead, click out of it, and that's it. We added the tools that we needed to check the calendar and then add a new appointment to our calendar. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the second task our agent needs to do, which is the user is ready to exit the conversation. If and only if the user has booked, changed, or deleted the appointment, use the Gmail tool send email to prepare a summary of the user's interactions or the actions taken, including the user identification details, and send this summary to the user. Then we also mentioned say a friendly, short goodbye phrase and trigger the exit condition. Looking at this, two things needs to happen. Configure the Gmail tool send email, and second, add an exit condition. Let's go ahead and first add the tool to send out the email. We click on the plus sign here for tools, click integration, and we have Gmail here. And for this one, we can use the send email. So what we want to do here is provide an LLM description. So here we're going to say send the appointment details to the user. This should include date, time, name, and description. Now we can always tweak this at a later stage, but for now I think this will do, and we'll first need to test it and see how it works, and then if need be we can make any changes to it. Next here we have the variables. Who are we sending the email to? We can let the agent collect that because it does collect the email address for the user anyway, so this will be agent collected. Then the subject, we can again come here and just type in a specific subject that we wanted, or we can just let the agent do that. So I'm just going to let the agent collect the subject. I want the agent to create the body for us. The only thing that I actually want to change here is the CC. We can see that that's turned off, but because I want this email to be sent out to the user, but also to myself, so I know that an appointment has been booked, I'm going to go ahead and hardcode my email address here, so I will always receive the emails that the user actually receiving with the appointment being booked. And the last thing we want to do here is we need to add the exit condition, because we want to be able to tell our agent at some stage this conversation will end whenever the exit condition is satisfied, right? So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and add an exit condition. So for the exit condition, I'm going to go ahead, add a new exit condition, and I'm going to name this end conversation. And for description, I'm going to say exit after the last thing to do before exiting conversation has been executed. Now that the agent is ready, we can go ahead and publish our agent by clicking the publish button here in the top right corner. Now we're going to take a bit of time to publish, so we're just going to wait for it. Now, in the meantime, what I want to actually do is add the phone number to my agent so users can actually call the agent instead of actually talking to it through a chat. Now, in order to add the phone number to our agent, we need to go to interfaces, and then we need to click on telephony. here you can actually watch a 2-minute tutorial that will show you exactly how to get a phone number and add it to your agent. But for the time being, let me just go ahead and quickly do it myself and show you how to do it. We're going to use Twilio to actually connect our phone number to our agent. First thing here is we need to go to twilio.com. Once we are here, we can either log in or we can just click start for free. Now we're being brought over to the dashboard, and here we can go ahead and purchase a phone number if you want to under phone numbers, manage and then buy a number. But for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and just get trial phone number. Once you get the trial number, what you need to do is you need to get the account seed and authentication token to connect to your agent. Now, a lot of people don't know where to get that from on Twilio. Well, actually, it's on the dashboard. If you scroll all the way at the bottom of the dashboard, you can actually see your account seed, token, and the phone number. Anyway, for this scenario now, we need to connect the phone number to our agent so we can actually make that phone call and test our agents. To do that, what we need to do here is we're going to go back to our agent, and we can see here what he's asking for: the phone number, the account seed, the token, and give it a name if we want to, which is optional. Let's go back to Twilio here. We're going to copy the account seed, go back to the agent, paste in the seed, back to Twilio, copy the token, come here, paste in the token. Then we're going to get the phone number from Twilio, add it to our agent, and finally we can call this appointment booking. Once we're happy with that, we can click import, and now we need to select the environment we want to use it for. So it's either development or production. In our scenario, we're going to use this for production, and we're going to click assign. Now we can see the phone number here, it's assigned, and this is everything it took to actually add the phone number to our agent. Now let's test this by calling the agent and try to book an appointment.
Welcome to Brightside Dental Care. This is Hope speaking. How can I assist you?
Hi, I'd like to book an appointment.
When would you like to schedule your visit? Please let me know your preferred date and time.
I would like to book an appointment for October 28th at 12 p.m.
Let me check if October 28th at 12 p.m. is available for you. I'll look at the schedule to make sure there are no conflicts. I see there's already an appointment scheduled from 12 p.m. to 12:30 p.m. on October 28th, so that time slot is not available. Let me suggest some alternative times that would work for you on that day.
Can you actually book it in for 1 p.m. on October 28th?
Perfect. 1 p.m. on October 28th looks available. Now I'll need to get some information from you to complete the booking. Could you please tell me your name, your email address, and what you'd like to discuss during your appointment?
Sure. My name is Bogdan. The email address is bogdan.test1993@gmail.com, and I would like to have a consultation.
Perfect. Let me book that appointment for you right now. Your appointment has been successfully booked. The appointment will be 30 minutes long, ending at 1:30 p.m. You'll receive an email confirmation shortly. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, that's perfect. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Bogdan. Have a great day, and we'll see you on October the 28th at 1 p.m.
And as you can see, the appointment is booked. Dental consultation appointment with Bogdan for 28th at 1 to half 1. I just want to mention here that I actually went ahead and tried to book for 12 p.m. at first, but it did offer different alternatives. So then we tried the 1 p.m. and that was added to our calendar. And now looking at our email here, you can see that the email was sent to bogdan.test1993@gmail.com, which was the email address we used for this user. As we can see, he also added me to the CC because, as I said, we want the user to be able to get a confirmation for the appointment, but also we want to be aware when somebody books an appointment with us and then it goes through and says, here are your appointment details, and then it gives the date for the appointment, the time, type, which is consultation, patient name, and the email address. Basically what I asked the agent to collect and add to the email. And that's exactly what we wanted to build. An AI receptionist that can handle appointments the same way a real person would. It asks for the date and time the client wants, checks our calendar to make sure there are no conflicts, and collects all the details such as name, email, and what the appointment is about. Once all the details are confirmed, it books the slot in our calendar and sends a notification email to both the client and us to make sure that we're both updated. And the best part, we didn't have to type a single message. Everything happened over a phone call with the AI agent. So yeah, we basically built a receptionist that can handle appointments 24/7 without ever double booking or missing a phone call. Not bad, right? If you want to build other powerful agents like this one, click over here to watch my full AI agent series and follow along from the start. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one.